his face, it's just like, like a person in the press will just be like, Mr. President, like, what are you gonna do about, Saddam, running around all over the Middle East with his crazy mustard gas or whatever. I want the American people to know, I want Saddam Hussein to know that we are gonna spare no effort to make sure he is brought to justice and that liberty will ring throughout the kingdom of Iraq. There's another bit I like, done by the comedian Gabriel Iglesias. And I don't know, he like did this thing where he was pretending to be a reporter and he said to fake President Bush, it's like, Mr. President, what are you gonna do about Katrina? We're gonna find Katrina and we're gonna bring her to justice. It's like, Mr. President, how you doing, man? We're gonna go after those terrorizers left and right. And let me tell you something. I will not rest until every American child can go to sleep inside his bed with little star sheets with the moon on it and say, I'm safe. So now, you guys laugh too hard. So now, we go to the president before George Bush, and we all remember President Bill Clinton. Oh boy, yeah, we're like, where's he gonna go with this one? My favorite thing to do is to go into supermarkets, take off my wedding ring, and see if I can get some single mothers out there. Yeah. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Bill Clinton's famous line, at his press conference when he said to reporters, now look here, I'm only going to say this once. I did not have sex with that woman. Miss Lewinsky and I have never been associated with each other. Never, never, never. It's just like, Bill, come on, man. Like, you know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I mean, come on. I live in freaking Connecticut. I mean, jeez. So, now going away from the political world, I have impressions of people from entertainment, from pop culture. And my first one is probably one of my favorite comedians, one of my inspirations among many, and it's Bill Cosby. The thing with Bill Cosby is, there's always the catchphrase, I don't know, I was on YouTube, when I do homework I get distracted, I go on YouTube, I search videos, like everybody else. And I found a commercial of Bill Cosby from like the 80s advertising for none other than the Jell-O pudding. And he goes, and he was in his sweater, his crazy sweater. I don't have a crazy sweater, I left it at home, but I would definitely have it. And he goes, the kids love the Jell-O pudding when they come home from school, they get to eat it up, and my daughter Ruthie loves it. I'm just sitting there, just like, good Lord. It's like you're really living out everything that everybody makes fun of you about. And it's great. It's great. It gives guys like me ammunition. All right, so now I'm gonna get some of my newer stuff that I've got for you guys. I prepared especially for this event. I used it at my tryout, but I've been looking a lot at Family Guy. I don't know why. I've just been fascinated by Family Guy and the potential that show has to be impersonated. It's just oozing impersonation. So my first one is of a well-known character, Mr. Herbert.
Oh my God.
And the one line I remember is just, Chris is delivering the paper to Herbert. He's out there in his robe and his underwear, and he's like, what's in my pants? I don't know, paper boy. all sweaty there. Or wait, hold on. Let me get a drink. I gotta wet the whistle for this one. You really gotta hear it. You gotta hear you gotta really hear the, the whistle. Because this guy's got probably a gap in his teeth. I don't know, but he doesn't exist. So we won't ask. But here, some popsicles, hey boy. I got some popsicles in the fridge. If you want to go down and get some, because you're working so hard down here delivering the paper. So then you got Chris going, well, Mr. Herbert, I don't know if I can go in your basement.
Woo!
My dad says you're kind of creepy, so I don't want to go in the basement. Because I don't know if I'll ever come out. Chris Griffin. Very good. And then meanwhile, he probably goes home, he tells his mother, Lois, like, Mom, I was delivering the paper and Mr. Herbert was being really creepy again. And he's probably like,
now, Chris, you know you're not supposed to go to Mr. Herbert's house because he's going to probably abduct you, and your father and I really don't want to deal with that right now. Stewie's in his room doing Lord knows what, and I can't worry about you. Your father's working so hard.
oh, brother, great show. Check it out, TBS. Just a little plug for them. So, next up is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Austin Powers. Happens to be one of my, there are three of them. Favorite trilogy. By far. And one character that I've always been fascinated with is Dr. Evil. And, Scott comes out. And I think he's got like Nirvana playing in his room or something, but that's irrelevant. But he comes out and, Scott, I'm your father, Dr. Evil. He's like, I haven't seen you in 20 years. Now, this is not part of the program. I don't do a Scott impression, but it's like, you expect me to, love you or something? And Scott, can I get a hug? Come on, Scott. It's like, oh, come on, don't look at me like I'm frickin' Frankenstein. Give your father a hug. hug. It's like, get away from me. And then my other favorite line of his is, I'll do the dialogue between him and his son, but he goes, preparations A through G have all failed. We're now moving to preparation H. He's like, why don't you just call Operation Ass Creep, you ass? And he's like, Scott, Daddy's working, okay? Okay? Daddy's working. It's like, fine, dude. Whatever, man. So that's Dr. Evil in a nutshell. It's just a little odd little man. He's bald. He sits there. And this little clone there. But all right, very good. Now next up, it's going to close our program, is one of my favorite movies as well. Austin Powers. There are a lot of movies I like, and the last one is Forrest Gump. I remember when he's going into the army. He's like, I'm Benjamin Buford Blue, but you could call me Bubba. My name's Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. And then probably by far my favorite scene in the movie is when he's playing ping pong, and he gives it a little narration of why he's going to China. And he's like, we were about the first people to go play ping pong in the land of China in about like 1 million years or so. And they say we were fighting communism. They said freedom was in our hands. But I was just there to play ping pong. And all the while, he's still after that girl, Jenny. It's like, Jenny, I love you. Will you marry me? He Yeah, you're having a good time, man. And she's like, Forrest, I can't marry you. I may not be a smart man, but I do know what love is. It's funny because I'm making fun of his voice, but the content of it is very serious. But anyways, I think that about does it. I don't know, I think I'm way over time, but regardless.
Woo!
Thank you. Good job, guys.